What's popular, YouTube? Another day, another demo, and this is officially the last day before I leave. I am leaving to go to. I'm going. Okay, so here's my flight pad. Let me tell you exactly what I'm doing. In a couple hours, I'm going to go to Turkey to get tested. Blast have set up this whole thing for us because basically we need rapid testing to get into Copenhagen. So these are the laws publicly to get into Copenhagen, but Toronto doesn't do rapid testing right now, which is basically a faster turnover test. So for those of you who might know, there's like the nose jammer test that I talked about where they go and scoop it into your brain. And then there's a version of that that's just faster, much faster. Like you can get, when we're at Blast, we get tested every single week. And we get tested, we get tested whatever we want. We get tested every Saturday and we get the results back instantly. There's like a nurse on site, tests every single person just to make sure it's all good. When we travel, we get tested sometimes at different clinics and sometimes with private doctors and stuff. So here, they're Blast set up. So we go to Turkey. We're staying in a really nice hotel in Turkey, and the doctor is going to come to our room, test us there, rapid test, and then we're going to fly to Copenhagen. And the travel day I avoided was one where we were supposed to go to America and then to Copenhagen, but then complications meant the rules changed, so we ended up having to wait that out. And we were, talking about potentially casting online, which is nobody wants to do that. Like as much as we don't want to travel, just casting online for such a big event, it just seems like it would just be terrible. And then there would be the spring series coming up. All spoilers. So anyways, that's what I'm going to be doing. Very happy to be taking just a regular overnight flight this time around. Spend one day in Istanbul and then get over to Copenhagen. And that's it, man. Going to cast. And what are we talking about today? We're talking about the best opper in the world. Junior, my man. This is the dude who is now on Furia. This is params.gg. I don't know how to pronounce this, but Apex actually made this website. This is unsponsored promotion, okay? We might use this website for 365 days in the year Apex. That's right, 10,000 views a day, over 600,000 views a month for a full year straight and not get a single dollar from this Apex. Just want to let you know that we might end up using this site over CSGO Pro settings. Or maybe we'll switch back. You never know. You know what I'm saying? Here are the teammates that are listed from of Junior's teammates. This website's set up by Apex, and you can download his config. You can you see all of his settings, and it's all updated by them, which is really cool. So we know it's up to date. Hopefully, I think people will still probably change their settings more than they update the website. And they've got cool things like you just kind of click to copy. Nice little animation there. And yeah, so this is cool. I just saw that Apex announced it. He didn't tell me to use it, but I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. And since he's a pro himself, it's probably easier for him to get these players to list themselves on the site. So I think it works very well from that perspective. So anyways, we're torturing your eyeballs with black bars today. You guys get to watch it on black bars. I'm watching it on stretch, but this is what you want. So you guys are watching this on black bars. Don't worry, it's going to look fine. Junior's the operator we want to talk about today because he is announced to be joining Furia. Junior Furia HLTV. This was set sights on Junior to replace Henny back when this was like back in the middle of was this back in November? Yeah, back in November. Back in November 2020. This was like, what is going on? And of course, what was going on is that Henny wanted to go play with his twin brother Lucas, and they want to go do that whole thing. Hey, this might be career suicide for Henny. It might be a good thing. It feels like they had a good thing going on Furia. I feel like we saw a couple of things with Furia when they were in Europe where there's still some questions about whether or not the style will work because Astralis hard countered them. I kind of want to do some class. So I've been watching a lot of chess and learning a lot of chess. And there's been some some really cool GMs that make chess content, and I've been watching them, and they've been referencing a lot of games from the past, right? Like there's a common thing to do in chess, and they have the software to bring the game up and the specific situation in the game to like talk about why it was good or why it was bad, why a move was good or bad, when it was atypical or when it was normal, whatever. And I kind of want to do that in CS too, because I feel like I do have a good amount of reference knowledge to different matches that have happened. We have watched a lot of demos together on this channel, and I really want to talk about some of the game. And I cast so much that more than I even watch in demos. So I really want to talk about some of the specific situations, because there's been a few reference moments in this year for trying to understand why something is good, why something is bad, why something is meta, and why something is not meta. And I can really go down to like specific rounds. I can talk about mentality. You know, a few of the matches I'm thinking of are like Gambit versus Astralis at DreamHack Masters. That was a reference game for me for what it's like when a tier 2 team that has experience and a good record plays against Astralis, and then how it works when the better team, why the better team ends up winning. That was a really, really good example series. There was Astralis versus Furia, which fortunately a lot of games with Astralis end up being reference games because, you know, of how clinically they play, but versus Furia, where on Overpass they completely destroyed the game plan of Furia to the point that you actually question whether or not Furia's style was viable versus Astralis. And if your style is not viable versus Astralis, your style cannot win tournaments. It's that simple. There's a few teams you have to beat. When you get to tournaments, you have to be prepared to beat them. That's why everyone over prepares versus Astralis. That's why people have outstanding stats versus Astralis, but not other teams in the top 5. You have to get through certain teams to be able to win tournaments. You still have to be able to beat them all, but there's certain teams you know that are going to make it the farthest. They are your primary threat. And that was one game, Furia versus Astralis on Inferno. That was also a reference match for me that I would like to show to explain how you can counter art completely, how you can really like use the time on the clock to counter art, you know, what it looks like to call a game plan very good versus the CT sides of art, the aggressive CT sides of Furia. And to show that like you can actually reduce the amount of chaos that happens to you. And yeah. So that's something, but okay, this is why, you know, I'm wondering if there was more to Henny leaving besides just like wants to play with his twin brother. I think it totally could have been. And I think it's a huge shame that he leaves Furia, because I think he was in some matches, he was the best player on Furia. In a lot of matches, he was the second best. Most important, most impactful. Henny truly has had one of the biggest glow-ups in terms of a roster move that we've ever seen. I don't know if this is to credit Gary, to credit art, to credit the system, to credit Henny's personal growth and self-reflection, self-awareness and development. The amount of time he's been putting into the game, like how much he's passionate about the game, you know, that's helped him grow. Maybe it's all those things, right? But we've definitely seen it right before our eyes. Henny has been an outstanding player and has come into his own in a big way, and will take that experience, I'm sure, and improve the next team that he joins. But yeah, so it could be extraneous reasons, right? But then we get Junior to come in to play on, to play on Furia. And the question is not, is Junior promising? He's been shouted out 3 or 4 times so far in the HLTV top 20 list this year already. He's been shouted out, once today again by Elige. He got shouted out by Yuri. Yeah, basically people cannot stop talking about Junior because they know he's good. This is, you know, who else in North America would you rather have shout you out than Mr. Elige? Of course, Yuri going to be a bit biased knowing that he's coming onto the team, but this is such a huge shout. And I think there was a chance that Junior could have been playing on Liquid. If Fallen didn't exist, I think Junior ends up on Liquid, because I think Fallen, he helps solve the problem of op and IGL, which that Liquid needed both, right? So it was either something like, you know, remove Stewie and someone and Twists for Junior and an IGL, but like that IGL doesn't really exist unless it's maybe Shake. But it's definitely a much safer play to take on someone like Fallen as opposed to someone like Shake for an IGL. Like, they can really blow up in your face potentially for a team of this level. I don't think the road for Shake to the tier 1 teams is especially clear. I just think that from the Liquid perspective, it's a little bit scarier to think about taking on someone like Shake than it is to think about taking on someone like Fallen, who you might be questioning is like, his form or his overall motivation or his like career trajectory or something. And Stewie's played with him in the past. Anyways, we've talked about that a lot. I don't want to talk your ear off about that. Just want to say that like I think that Junior would have solved their op problem at least easily. I think he would be someone they would give a chance to. I'd be less scared to take on an IGL with a pre-existing IGL, take on an opper with a pre-existing IGL, and then try to build the system there and give Junior a chance to get used to the tier 1 teams and everything, because that's not going to be easy, but I think he is definitely ready. We all know Junior is really good. So back in December, we tweeted, we watched, we casted Junior's games at back in like May, June or something, back on this Triumph where we had Shake Zula, Junior, Grim, Spongy, Curry. I love this roster, man. I'm really, really sad that this roster ended up getting kind of pulled apart with Curry going to school, Grim going to Liquid, Junior going to Furia now, with Shake at the helm. Spongy was such a core rifler. I love this roster. I never hope that 2 rosters become just one good one. I always want to see 2 rosters exist separately. Their own IGLs, their own sets of talent. They all come up. They bring up the region by creating different styles of CS. They're all like trying to achieve something separately. I don't want to see as much of the feeder system to the top teams, where I think a lot of talent gets wasted almost, right? Unfortunately, there's a lot of parallels right now between a team like Liquid and FaZe, which is low on leadership and low on results compared to the talent, right? So I think, that's a shame. But we're past that now. We're well past that. And it's good to at least see, the players on this team being a part of Tier 1 in North America. I think it was said by Som that he felt like every single player on Triumph could end up on a Tier 1 team after they beat Gen G. It beat Gen G so hard, Som went to Valorant. So, yeah. So now we're here to talk about Junior because he's been shouted as bold prediction. I feel like it just fold that in, right? Just fold that in to one of these videos where I don't know, just want to do something. And and what's the one we're going to watch? Oh yeah, here. Yeah, so he has been chosen by 4 different players. I think I read that, but I don't actually know which of the players it was that all shouted him out. But I'm assuming it could have been just like 3. It could have been 3 Furia players. Either way, this is the game we want to watch, and the reason we want to watch it is because of this reply here by C9 Josh Mix. This is the analyst for Cloud9 CSGO. You guys should go ahead and give him a follow. He's hilarious. His terrible takes. Great hair. Okay, and he said that I remember watching a demo of him versus 100. I'm joking about the terrible takes. Great takes. I remember watching a demo of him versus 100 Thieves on Nuke, and I could instantly tell he was going to be a top opper for the amount of impact and fearlessness he had on CT side. This is a demo I didn't know. I didn't know which one he was referencing, so I said, let's go find that demo. So I went to his matches, and then I went Control F 100, and then I was like Dust 2 Inferno, Nuke, Vertigo, Dust 2 Inferno, and these are the only games we have. So it's this game. Found the exact game that Josh Mix is talking about here in this tweet reply. Boom. We're going to go ahead. We already downloaded the demo. We're going to go ahead and open the demo and take a look at what kind of impact Junior had on the CT side of Nuke versus 100 Thieves. I know you guys don't want to see any more Nuke. CT side operas on Nuke. But check this game out. It's going to be, instead of Simple and Device and Ziwu, it's going to be Junior. He's going to be up there on the Mount Rushmore of operas one day. And we going to get an early look at that right here in this video. We're going to play against a very competent team on Nuke. They're going to stage a huge comeback here because of the impact that him and actually I think Shake had here on the CT side. And there's pure banter in this game. These teams are friends with each other. I was going to skip ahead, but I didn't want to miss too much of the banter. I feel like I don't know why it's going so fast. Why does it feel like it's just skipping by? Where's the all chat? Why is the all chat going? Okay, here you go. Just pure banter coming out of halftime. I'm not going to read it. But it's all there to be enjoyed. Teams are friends with each other. Love to see that. And just hoping now that this demo isn't going to lag. It looks a little bit laggy, a little bit funky. It's not an extremely old demo. It's a little bit old. What's the setup? Look at the lobster pincer maneuver. Okay, they got the angry eyebrow setup on ramp. Leaned in here from both sides. And the rotation from Junior, but the molly into heaven. Oh my god, they got shut out so hard. The molly is everything. Where are their two other players? I thought that they had two sitting upstairs. Well, it looks like they're going to go for the retake. So here's a combination of flash, maybe decoy. You got to throw a couple of things because everyone's going to be playing anti-flash or at least one. It's like if you're going to go out with a flash, you go out with two flashes. Or you go out with zero, right? Because they think that they're going to play anti-flash. But you never go out with one flash. Oh my god. Oh my god. Actually, Triumph win. Okay. That was a totally different, oh my god, if you couldn't tell. One was like, oh, what a disaster. One was like, Pog champion. Og in play for Junior. I think he's from Boston. He's from Baston, I should say. I think. I don't actually know. I can't remember if he is actually from Boston or not. I've been there once. I actually, the first time I ever went to do something CS related for traveling. I went to a LAN, paid for myself to go to a LAN with my friends that we played with online. I was doing a little bit of tracking. Saw someone jump up, maybe. See the rotation instantly. Pay attention to his teammates on the screen, right? We're seeing someone drop lower just as he comes to refresh ramp. Junior's here to hold for a lurk to come out ramp, of course. And at this point, 5v4. He doesn't have to move. He just has to wait for communication from downstairs. Hey, I need your help. Hey, there's no one here. They're going to worry about outside. And, yeah, all he's going to do is make sure that they don't hit ramp from this position. The one time I went to Boston was to go to, to fly to a LAN. I think we got second place at the LAN. I have the sick ace. Maybe I'll show you after. The randiest ace ever. Okay, we get the spam down into control side. There's significant control here for the CT, so they're feeling okay. They get the one kill. Spongy does enough. He does just have an MP9. They've got control of ramp, and again, they're just watching for the lurk. Shake gets a kill. And now they can feel a little bit more comfortable, so the plant has to happen. What? Oh my god, no way. Azur makes the play, pushes through into ramp, takes Grim out, and then Junior, but he tries to move back into the site, and that's how he gets traded. Interesting, because the bomb is planted, unfortunately, for Azur in the back of the site. If we had a situation there where basically if one more kill comes down for 100 Thieves, right? Azur gets two, his teammate gets one on the back of the site, it's over. What a play, though. Okay, now we're on to the op. Now we're on to the op. So what makes Junior so good? I mean, he just plays well. I don't want to reduce him to one style of play. I personally think where he shines the most, that really he stood out to me a lot when we were casting his matches. I don't know if it was DreamHack Master they qualified through, something earlier in the year. Was these moments, okay? It's the clutch opping. It was when he has pressure applied to him, I feel like he makes the correct decision. And I think, you know, a lot of people can synthesize the information well, but the more aggressive you are, the better you have to be at processing information quickly. Not only that, staying calm, and not just reacting, but also, like, making your play. So, you know, if you're getting shot, like, that was a really good example, and I'm sure we'll see more shots just like that from Junior. where it feels like not only does he have the good reflexes, but if he's getting shot, that's an indicator he needs to react. But he doesn't shoot back as if he's going to die in seconds. Instead, he makes sure he can hit the shot. And sometimes just great reflexes, like an instant reaction kind of thing. But pretty much I feel like he will take the time he needs to make sure he hits the shot. And sometimes it looks faster. It looks so fast that it's just a plain reaction, and it might be. And sometimes he'll just take that extra, like, you know, half moment to make sure it's like right on the target and not be so scared about how much damage is being given to him, which I think is a really, really good sign. Because of course, like, anybody can like throw their mouse across the room and click as soon as they, you know, get hit by a few bullets, and once in a while, like a broken clock, hit a couple of shots here and there. But it's something else when you get a player like with, I don't want to draw two comparisons, you know, because it's still early days for Junior, but when you get a player who can really rely on his reflexes, but also can stay calm enough in those situations, I think it says a lot. So that's what stands out to me for Junior. It's the kind of the combat opping, the level of aggression, but the calmness in that aggression, and the consistency when it comes to like putting together the hard shots when he needs to. So, but yeah, the reason I don't want to reduce, you know, Junior to one thing or another is because he does just play well, right? He's not just like how Henny used to be, who could fly out into every single angle and try to put together a highlight every single round. Junior's got good rotations. He's in good spots, and I think at that moment where, you know, you could choose to be passive because it might be easier, I feel like Junior does not think like that. I think he understands when it's the better decision to just try to move forward a little bit. And I think that's the fork in the road for a lot of players as well, is are they capable of understanding what is a good situation and risk to take, and not viewing it as, oh, what if I die, right? Just instead thinking about it, this is 60-40 or this is 70-30, and doing that very quickly. I think it's a very good sign. I think that's a quality Junior has. Here's a shot outside as he attempts to hold. So here you're just trying to react to the Molotov that comes your way, you know, as well as trying to fight out. I think he attempts to throw the smoke and then switches.
Didn't go off, Marcos. Fuck.
Switches too quickly. Hopefully we get more good comms. I don't even know what he said, but yeah, you know, the natural reaction from the other side is to either swing on the opper who's trying to get away to the stairs, or get the Molotov down and then basically force him to smoke himself out and then spam him as he jumps down the stairs, that kind of thing. So he does what he needs to do there. And again, it's really about like, okay, he dies, but number one, he sees two extra people on top of the ones that he killed. He stopped them from going secret. He's delayed long enough that now they might be afraid of running it down to lower. And he set his teammates up to buy some time, chill, and see if 100 Thieves want to play more into that strategy. So right there, we've seen direct impact here from Junior in a play. It's not, you know, it's a kind of a standard play. It was definitely the path he was going to take at the beginning of the round. And here it is, no problem. Now we're already within 3 after a 12-3 start for 100 Thieves. So of course you're feeling very good at this point if you're Triumph, but the game isn't over. It is a strong map. And this is a good kind of aim map angle on top of the silo where people can crouch around and pop their heads up. And you make a judgment call. Where do you think you normally see their heads? How might they normally approach it? And yeah, the rest is basically mechanics, right? Like you just have to react. You're also not the easiest target in the world to hit, so it can be kind of 50-50, but it really just depends how much you believe in yourself. And here, that's a small risk, right? Like for JKS, we see that Junior is clearing to the top of silo. And why that's important is because that shows you that from JKS perspective, he's not viewing Junior's position as like a super standard, obvious position someone would stand in. From Junior's position, it's clearly something of a risk. And finding these gaps, right? These places where you'd consider them a risk, but they can really open up the round if you take this. Then you know that's when you're talking about an opera who has a lot of impact. And right now he's getting threatened here from Turnpike as his teammate. Ooh, yeah, that's the kind of clutch op reactions that we're looking for. As his teammate dies, but he's just focused forward, lays the trap, controls ramp, and now less than 10 seconds. Are we looking for a plant here? It looks like, I don't even know if there's a chance. Does he get the bomb down? I guess he does. You can make it over towards control side. Junior has his escape. And right here, right, why doesn't Junior swing out? Why doesn't he go peek the left side of the smoke? Well, of course, because if the guy in the smoke decides to swing late to the right, and you aren't holding this and you die on the ramp, your teammate's in a 1v1. If Junior controls this space, I mean, how this screen looks is a perfect example of how he's controlling the space. His flick is a lot easier to the right. He has the walkout 100%. He knows for his teammates' sake that like certain amount of positions will not be in danger, and he guarantees that he stays alive. This is not something to highlight how good of an opper Junior is. This is just like a small lesson for maybe people who don't understand, like, you know, why a decision isn't going to be made. But yeah, obviously got to give different levels of advice here. And again, controlling space. Again, he's got eyes here, and you see because he's held it for so long, he doesn't have to think about clearing anything else out. So this rotation has come around to the other side, and this will have to be a quick shot for Junior to be able to lock this up, but they won't even need him, and he'll take Liaz out. Side of the head with the deagle. I don't know if you know. Did he pick up that grenade? Yeah, it looks like he did. But yeah, it's always this tug of war with when to take space, when to give it up, when to control space, like just hold, and knowing when recognizing the situations. And so here on the if you turn your brain off on the CT side, you can get into this pattern on CT side of Nuke, of opping, of rotating into a bunch of positions. But the number one fear with rotating too much, which might not exist as much on Nuke, is just getting into spots that are the most what would be the most expected. So like, let's say here, this is a totally fine position for an opera to be in, and a lot of operas will spend 30 to 40% of the CT side like around here somewhere. Well, these smokes are exactly for this opera, right? Like everything that's every nade that the T's are going to throw to be able to take yard control is designed to stop Junior from being able to see them, so that they can like get into positions to make his life a little bit more miserable, right? To make Junior now have to worry about the whole left side of the big garage, or to watch this credit card wrap, or deny him from feeling comfortable peeking this window. So when you rotate a lot, and that's not what Junior's doing right now, again, this is just like a general thing, but when you're rotating a lot, you always run the risk of ending up in the positions that are going to be the most counterable by the T's, the positions that the T's are hoping that you get to, so that they're very standard nades, cover you a lot. So sometimes you'll see that, but yeah, so we see like Junior's life gets a little bit harder here as he now has to watch everything. And if you're curious, there's not like really a cut and dry perfect solution to how to watch this, right? Unlike with chess, you don't have perfect information in CS, and positioning is important, but it is not is almost equally as much of an art as it is a science, right? You want to have some balance between the intuition and what is, factually true, or just like something that's tried and true. And yeah, and sometimes you do have to look between two angles. Sometimes that is the best way to get information. Sometimes jump spotting is the best way to get information, even though that's fundamentally flawed. It's only partially flawed. A lot of situations are lesser of two evils types of situations. And that's where I think an opera's confidence comes into play in a big way, right? Because you have to be sometimes prepared to like hit a flick shot. Sometimes you see an opera aiming in the middle of the box to flick to left or right, just really trusting their reflexes. So, I mean, unless they're gonna dive the plant here, okay. Well, I guess there's a little bit. Honestly, there's a little bit of hope there, right? Because they throw the molly into. The idea is have the T's try to hunt them. They wait long enough. If there's anybody on the site, if they get that lucky trade, then the other guy might be mollied out from hut. But Bombs Bandit planted backside. And they got Liaz watching it like a hawk. Oh, he spotted. He saw that, right? Oh, wait. Was that a CT? I thought it was a T. Oh, okay. It was a T. It was a T. 100% it was a T. No question it was a T. Okay, they're trying to just continue on with the strategy. But Junior just having insane impact right now. He's got so much. He's got basically all the data that they need, right? He spotted the 2-3 players outside. He killed 2 out of 3 players outside. He saw that Azur was turning the corner on Mini, meaning it showed that they were continuing on with the strat. Like, that's just the tell. Like, Azur's like, okay, screw it. Junior saw it, but we don't have time in this strategy to worry about him. As soon as Junior sees him turning that corner with the mini flash, he knows what strat is coming. So he can share that info with his team. And obviously he gets the kill as well, so he doesn't even need to do that. That's really, really the big kill there. Shout out to Josh Mix for this demo. A treat. Don't wipe coffee on your wipe t-shirts. All right, I feel like the demo is a little bit choppy. I don't know if I'm crazy. That's Grat down. Oh, punished. What is that? What did we just witness? Imagine if Junior first tournament, the Tier 1 Blast Global Finals, after Furia did all the work for him, qualifying through everything this year, to win $600,000 for first place. Oof! Online event too. Imagine. Imagine he slots in perfectly. Okay. Imagine he just slots in so well we end up looking for Junior's twin brother, 2junior. Junior 1. Like, how is this? How did he slot into Henny's role so fluidly? I mean, and it does make sense on paper. I mean, it does. Of course, the whole situation with the communication is one thing. People are talking about how he's been just going so hard on Duolingo. I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, I've seen him talking in Portuguese on Twitter, but I don't know if that's Google Translate. I mean, it's coming from someone who knows a little Finnish, right? You just can never be too sure if someone actually knows the language. That's all I'm going to say. Oof, 12 to 14. They need something. It is getting a little bit tense here. You can't give up anything. You can't afford to lose any more rounds. That was the most castery thing I've ever said. Okay, so interesting. He's really concerned about this lurk. Can we talk about this position for a second? So I think they're actually flanking ramp, but I think that they don't have enough info outside. Now, I'm just looking at this mini map, okay? Trying to read into this position a little bit. So I think what would happen here, normally you'd push lobby control, you know, if you think a team is wrapping heaven or something. Of course, Triumph don't think that right now. But anytime a default, where you know a default is like majority in one place, like outside, then, you know, you could be double pushing one person inside lobby, take control of that. And here you actually work to not only clear out lobby and ramp, but get downstairs. And remember how earlier Junior was sitting on ramp watching for the lobby flank lurk for so long? You don't have to do that anymore if you clear out lobby first and then flank all the way through. So it's a really, really popular thing the CT teams are doing a lot. But I wonder, because of Junior's kind of depressed angle here inside of Hell, if they are about to turn this corner for holding on to ramp right now. Because it seems like they've given up control of it. I just don't know what they're spotting outside. who's been quite passive. Oh, it looks like they're already downstairs. Okay. So no lurk here at all. And we see again, I mean, at least they don't have to clear lurks and stuff, but this is a pretty, of course, you know, I don't know if this is not a very winnable round, I would say, but you know, 3 players on the ramp, I think utility is there for Junior, but they've got to think about the next round as well. Of course, you see Junior with 150 bucks. Last thing you want is your opera on CT side to not have an op in the next round, so it's a little bit scary for him. And now it's just about delaying for as long as possible. Do not die is the only objective. And now you've got to try to stage a 3-round comeback. I think this game is from Blast, actually. Blast, America Showdown, something like that. From earlier in the year. Okay, 3-on-3, and there are some concessions. Grim on just the 5-7. And Junior trying to suss things out. Bomb is dropped down there, so he can kind of escort his teammate along upside this railing. And the only thing you've got to worry about is control side. Spongy takes out a player in this inside of the smoke, and now Junior seems a bit paranoid of his flank. Can kind of rotate in with his teammate. And they're just doing a full lap around the track to get into really, really comfy positions. I'm going to Denmark. They're getting into very hygge positions. Okay. I'm going to press fast forward, and then... Oh, I almost did. I almost pressed it. You know Junior is going to get this kill. In just a couple of tries. Let's see how Azur, can he? No, okay, no chance. He doesn't get it. 13-15. Wrapping up. So this, I don't know if you remember what the scoreline was for this match. I don't want to spoil it, but ooh. He does see one. Oh, what a shot. Okay, that's Jacob out. Barely saw anything from Jacob's perspective. Azur will hit him with a Tarek step back. Tarek step back, guys. And trade. Did you see it? Tarek step back. Want to watch it again? That's the perfect... We saw it. Shocks do the Tarek step back for the first time live on this channel. And now we get to see the Tarek step back done from the other perspective. And the perspective of the opper. You can even Tarek step back in opper. I think I need to use demo index 1. That's probably what I should use. That I keep forgetting to put in. Oh my god. So much chatting. Let's watch this shot again. Can we get a freeze? No. No. It's not even wallbang, guys. Oh, it's not even a wallbang, dude. Yeesh. Here it is. Oh. You see how his foot just kind of moved back into position? Now, it's not quite the reason that he missed. Azur reacted a little bit, but that was the Tarek step back. I want that to be understood. In a vacuum with no one on the other side to fight against, that was still the Tarek step back. Okay. This is when you peek and then you take a step back, and it just does this weird thing with your model that just it always makes you miss the flick. All right, when someone does the step back, they step back before they shoot. If you really are Tarek, you throw in a crouch. 15-14 now. Junior window shopping. Okay, so let's see how he reacts to some more nades outside. How you saw how he got kills in the past. He's been a combination of, like, he's not been overly aggressive. You know, he's just been like, he's done a couple of plays that were aggressive, a couple of plays that were smart. He's trying to get small advantages wherever he can find them. Not afraid to make a confident rotation inside right now. So this might be off of his team's communication. But it seems like it might be the right play. Seems like this is a round where someone tries to come in through mini. I'm not sure if anybody's watching this. But now the time is delayed. I'd be worried about ramp if I were on Triumph. We haven't seen the fast mini explode. And now the timer ticks some more. Now you're starting to think, okay, did they cross downstairs? And they finally react. Yes, they have planted lower. So see, the rotation from Junior means that since he commits to upstairs, he has a good spot to like guarantee a kill if they come upstairs. But so if they go lower, he can't be the guy to go ramp for the fast rotation. Doesn't make a significant impact though on this game, as you can see. He's in a good spot. Another great shot into Azure, and there's one left. It's JKS. Surely not a 1v3. Oh, no way. Holy hell, he hits that. See, that... Wow, he could have actually won that 1v3 if we didn't close with the same kind of shot that I was talking about what makes Junior such a good player, the goodest of players. Hope you enjoyed that one. I got to get on a plane in an hour and a half, so I'll see you guys in the next Coach Lab video will be in Laupenhagen. Peace out, y'all.